go. There we go. We are live. I don't know why it muted my microphone, but here we go. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So we're basically at the end of day 2, and nothing, still nothing. We don't have, anything. Right? We don't have any moves. You're seeing all these teams make pickups and trades and all this stuff, and yet the Lakers are still just kind of standing on their hands going like, what's going to happen, right? So, look, like I said, patience is a virtue. I know it's frustrating right now, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I'm always going to be optimistic. I'm always going to be hopeful. I'm always going to be supportive of what the Lakers are going to do. I feel like something's got to be in the works, right? You're hearing word that DeMar DeRozan, right? The Lakers are trying to make a push for DeMar DeRozan. You're hearing, various trades. 3-teamer with the Brooklyn Nets is a possibility. I guess the Nets still really want D'Angelo Russell, so maybe they can work something out where they go trade D'Lo. Can they get like a Dorian Finney-Smith or a Cam Johnson? Can they work something out to where they get DeMar and they get like a Cam Johnson? That would be huge for the Lakers. So again, I'm gonna remain optimistic. I'm gonna remain hopeful. But let's jump right into the chat because I'm sure it's gonna be crazy today because there's been a lot going on. I appreciate y'all being here. Also, real quick, while you're here, make sure to like the video. Helps me a ton. Get some more people in this live stream, and also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Appreciate you. All right, let's dive right into it. Discord mad at GM. I don't blame them. Best case is impression. Well, I mean, I don't blame people for being upset. I completely get why people are mad, right? Like, I completely get why people are frustrated. It is frustrating. It's like, can we get something done? Can something happen? And, unfortunately, nothing's happened yet. But like I said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? Right now, it's like, man, like we're not doing nothing. Then all of a sudden, it's like DeMar DeRozan, Cam Johnson, Brook Lopez. It's like, wow, okay, now we're cooking, right? So, again, a lot can change in a matter of minutes. It's frustrating that it's been day 2, and it's like, like even something, like give us something to get excited about. Everything's just kind of rumor. But like I said, we'll see. Seriously, WTF are they doing? Like I said, hopefully they have something going on, right? Hopefully something's cooking behind the scenes. What's going on, Exotic? Appreciate you being here. Yes, Red Pill, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you. Fire Rob, I'm not ready to get my pitchfork and stuff yet. Again, let's wait and see. Let's let him do his thing, and then we'll judge him accordingly, right? If he doesn't do anything, well, then now we judge him accordingly. But right now, everyone's ready to grab their pitchforks and, hike to take down the ogre. And it's like, what happens if he just rattles this off, right? What happens if all of a sudden it's just boom, 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 and we're all just like, whoa, what just happened, right? So again, I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard. I know it's a little bit exhausting, but let's wait and be patient. Let's see what's going on, Dada. I appreciate you being here. Pelinka has to go again. I get it. I'm with you. I'm frustrated with you, but let's wait and see what the end result is. It's right before we just are ready to tear down the building. We got Joe coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Trade everyone, leave Bronny, sell the team. Suggest everybody. Just Bronny James. He's the only one. Got to keep Bronny. Look, if nothing happens, right? Like, let's say the Lakers can't get anything done. They're not able to pull off any trade. You regroup. You kind of write it out, see if you could pull something off at the trade deadline. If the Lakers can't get anything done by like the trade deadline, right? I don't hate the idea of just hitting the reset button, trading Anthony Davis, signing, trading LeBron, right? Like, let LeBron have the year with his son, right? This can be the campaign. This can be the tour. And then if nothing happens, then you can look to maybe kind of restarting, right? Hit the reset button a little bit let's kind of hit a rebuild. Imagine what kind of package you could get for Anthony Davis, especially the kind of pack. Look at what Mikal Bridges went for. Imagine what you could get for Anthony Davis, or, you know, like LeBron James, work out a sign and trade with him, something like that. You get a hefty return. But again, that is like last resort, not this year, but next year. Because I just think right now there's still a million options. I mean, you have a million trades, right? The Lakers haven't even made trades. There's still all kinds of trades. Like, no one's really made like huge, like significant trades outside of, like, you know, you look at the New York Knicks and, you know, a couple minor things, but nothing like just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. So there's still trades, still free agency signings, right? Like, what happens if they get you know, like a Miles Bridges and DeMar DeRozan, and then they end up going and trading for, you know, Clint Capella or something. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, this roster is great. So to me, it's patience. I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard, but we got to just wait and see how this all plays out. But brilliance coming out to super chat. Bronny comp, Mario Chalmers. Mario Chalmers wasn't like, he had his moments defensively. I think Bronny James will be a better defense player. Like, I've talked about him being like, you know, like an Avery Bradley type guy. You know, like George Hill, like more athletic though, because he's more athletic than both of them. So like, you know, like a point of attack, defensive, just on ball guard. So like an athletic Gabe Vincent, right? Somebody that could shoot the three ball, be a point of attack on the defensive side at the guard position, right? And look, I've talked about it before, right? Like Bronny, a lot of people are upset with the Bronny pick, right? But like, again, it's the 55th pick. Most 55th picks are out of the league within a year or two, right? So, I mean, worst case scenario, same thing with Bronny, and he just becomes another number. Best case scenario, right? This was a guy that was a 5-star recruit, was predicted to go 17th in the draft before the Hart issue, and was ranked 20th in his draft class. So again, like, let's wait and see. You know, I understand the frustration. I understand, oh, it's, you know, LeBron's son. I just don't get it. It's like, who are you going to get that was that much better? Anybody you get was going to be a development guy, right? So, and not everyone has to be a superstar. If the 55th pick can evolve into just like a rotation piece, then that's a steal, right? Like, it does not every pick has to be a superstar, right? You need dirty work players. You need role guys. You need guys that can defend and be point of attack and, you know, sacrifice their bodies and stuff. And Bronny, I think worst case scenario can be that, personally. But Gabe, coming in out $2 super chat. Is Donovan Mitchell still on the table? I am working on a video about that very thing, because so there's no like word either way, but I mean, he hasn't signed the extension. So the last like report that came out about Donovan Mitchell was that he was waiting to see, because he wants to put pressure on the Cavs to make significant moves. Like, he wants to put pressure on the Cavs to have them do something to upgrade the roster. But one, they haven't done anything. Two, all these teams around him are getting better. And three, he still hasn't signed the extension. So is it still on the table? Absolutely, right? And to kind of like make things even more interesting, the last like real report about what Donovan Mitchell was going to do, right, and like where did he want to go, was that he wanted to go to a big market. Like, that was the plan, to go to a big market. And he wanted the Knicks or he wanted the Lakers. Well, the Knicks are completely out of the conversation now. So is it the Lakers? Again, I don't know. Don't get your hopes up. It's one of those things that I think is very unlikely, unless Donovan Mitchell pulls an Anthony Davis and is like, I will only go to the Lakers, right? Like, unless you trade me to the, like, you can trade for me, you can try to get me, but if, you know, you trade for me, I'm just going to leave and go to Lakers next year, right? Then I think that he could go elsewhere. Like, if he leaves the door open for anybody else, he's going to go elsewhere is the point. JetBlue coming out the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Fair Garland. Are you asking, would I like Garland? Like, would Garland like a trade? I don't mind Garland. He's not my favorite, right? Like, so like, I think people forget how good Darius Garland was before Donovan Mitchell. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, Darius Garland, like, you might as well just keep D'Lo or whatever. Like, Darius Garland got paid for a reason. Like, Darius Garland was an all-star level point guard and was looking like one of the rising point guards in this league. Like, people were talking about him very highly. And then they went and got Donovan Mitchell, and he basically became redundant. So I wouldn't hate getting Garland. Obviously, to me, it boils down like, what's the cost? What's the price? If it's something crazy, then no, I'd rather go look other directions. I also don't hate the idea of still maybe going and looking at Zach LaVine personally. But we'll see. Like I said, time will tell. But yeah, appreciate you. I don't like I said, I don't mind Garland. If the Lakers, like if you told me tomorrow the Lakers traded for Garland, I'd be pumped. I would just be like, what was the cost? How much was it? Right? Is the thing. Where was I? Here we go. Christian, thank you so much. Make sure, yes, like Christian said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. All right. Yeah, here we go. Nothing is better than bad. That's very true. It's a very good point, Speed. Like no move is better than a bad move, right? I'm old enough to remember Lakers desperate to make a move and sign Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov, right? So, there are things that this could be worse, big trade imminent. It's very possible, right? I mean, there's still a lot of options on the table, how will this unfold? How will this take place? I don't know. We're going to find out. But we're 2 days in, nothing. It's a little frustrating. I get it. But, like I said, things can change quickly, very quickly. We are limited DeRozan or bust. I don't necessarily think it's DeRozan or bust. I mean, I like DeRozan. Look, worst case scenario, like I just mentioned a moment ago, I don't hate the idea of just going and getting Zach LaVine for free. And they're willing to throw in a first. So, like, you could trade for Zach LaVine, get an extra first on top of it, maybe even negotiate to get more, because apparently no one else is biting. So, can you get, like, the Chicago first, and I think they have, like, the Bucks or something like that? They have, like, another, like, random first. Can you, like, get those to take him? Right? Like, because now, at that point, now you got, 4 firsts that you can trade, and then, like, look for the trade deadline to maybe pull something off, or, can you get him and then maybe convince, like a Miles Bridges to take the mid-level exception. And now you got like Reeves, LaVine, Bridges, LeBron, and AD. Like, sounds pretty good to me. And you have 4 tradable first plus 3 pick swaps. Plus you get to keep Connect. Plus you got, 5 seconds, I think, that they have to trade. Like, that wouldn't be, like, again, like break glass in case of emergency type thing. This team is not going to sign anyone. I don't know. We'll see. Didn't like the Cali Texas. Yeah, he was offered $30 million more. Right? A lot of people are like, oh, Rob Pelinka dropped the ball. He did it. They offered him more years and more money. And they were going to trade for him, which I didn't really like the idea of trading for him. If he wanted to sign for the vet or the taxpayer, not the taxpayer, the full mid-level exception, I was all for it. But for him to go, and he took less money to go to Dallas than even the Lakers were offering. The Lakers offered him 4 years, $80 million. He signed what, for 3 years, $50 million? So clearly it had nothing to do with that. And LeBron called him. Like, it was, so I don't know. It just seems to me like he didn't want to go. Where else can DeMar go for more money? He says he's out with the Bulls. Yeah. So, like, I mean, that was kind of always my argument, right? Like, if you tune into my videos and stuff, and like the videos that I've talked about DeMar in, like a lot of my arguments about DeMar DeRozan was like, if he doesn't re-sign with the Bulls, I don't know who else is giving him a bag, right? And like, if somebody's going to, like, let's say somebody's going to give him 15 million, right? Let's say, whatever, one of these teams is like, hey, you're San Antonio's like, I'll give you 15 million, right? Like, if he won't take 2 million less to go to the Lakers for a guy that literally went on a campaign tour talking about how badly he wanted to be a Laker and this, that, and the other, if he won't take a $2 million discount for something like that, then clearly he doesn't want to be a Laker that bad, right? So to me, it's like, what is his other options, Like, so I'm with you in that regard. But We got Gaka. I probably butchered that. Well, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really do appreciate that. Lakers should sign Boogie Cousins and Matt McClung. So Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, and Dwight Howard, they all like teamed up. Like Dwight Howard bought a team in Taiwan, and they're all playing there. So that's definitely not happening. Mac McClung, I mean, he's a great dunker, but doesn't really give you much beyond that. Personally, I'd stay away from that. Andrew Wiggins was just waived by was he really? No, he wasn't. Was he really? I didn't get any notification about that. Was Andrew Wiggins? Can somebody confirm for me? Was Andrew Wiggins really waived? Can somebody confirm? Yeah, Wiggins not waived? Okay, yeah, so Andrew Wiggins is not waived. I was about to lose my mind. I was about to go get him. Like, what? Like, you know, like, yeah. I see no news. Okay, no, he wasn't. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you fell for like one of those fake Woj accounts. You got to be careful with that, right? I've even almost like fell for it a couple times, like early on. Now I have the notifications turned and all that stuff. But like when I first was starting out, there was a couple times where like I almost made like a video about stuff. So got to be careful because there's a lot of like fake accounts out there that look very legit, and all of a sudden you're saying stuff that you're like, oh, that's not true. So just to keep in mind. Garter coming in hot with the $2. I'm assuming $2 super chat. Whatever it is, I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't see a comment with that. I don't know if you were planning to ask me something or anything. I'll keep an eye out on the chat if you had a question or if you were just for support. Again, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Seriously. Another way to support is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribe to the channel. We're closing in, trying to get to 25K. I'm almost at 22K. That'd be awesome. It's very frustrating. I get it. Like I said, I get the frustrations. I don't blame anybody for, not being upset, not being frustrated, not being bothered. But a lot can happen. It's hard to be patient in times like this when you're seeing everybody else do all this other stuff. But to me, it's like you got to let cooler heads prevail, right? Like tomorrow or the next day or whatever, all of a sudden you could just see the snowball and it's like, we're back, baby, right? I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could, right? And I don't want to jump the gun on the assumption that like, oh, we're going to be trash or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so Zach LaVine. Oh, I was just talking about Zach LaVine. I love the idea of Zach LaVine as a player and fit. His contract is obviously a bit of a concern. The Chicago Bulls are essentially giving him away. Like they are begging teams to take him and are willing to give up picks in order to do so. So to me, it's like, if all else fails, I don't hate the idea of just going and getting Zach LaVine, right? Because he's an upgrade over everyone else that we have on this roster. Yes, there's some injury concerns, but I mean, he's played outside of last season, which a lot of that I think was just he didn't want to go to Detroit because he was supposed to be back healthy and ready to go. And then all of a sudden the Detroit rumors happened and it was like, well, I'm not going to Detroit. That's for sure. Like Austin Reeves said, right? Like, so that's kind of my thought process when it comes to that. But, I stick to the path, right? Can you get DeMar? Can you get, like I said, a Bridges or something like that and kind of start piecing together this roster and knowing that that's there. Zach LaVine probably isn't going anywhere. So it's not one of those things where it's like time is the essence, right? Like he's probably going to be there regardless. So to me, it's kind of like, just stay the course, see what the result is. If all else fails, go break that glass and get Zach LaVine. Matt Sports Take, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. You're awesome. I don't think DeRozan is a good fit. So let's talk about this real quick. So I like the idea of DeMar DeRozan. Is there concerns, of the fit? Sure. Right. But a lot of the concerns is just he doesn't shoot threes. But there's more to floor spacing than there is shooting threes. Like a lot of people just assume like, oh, if you can't shoot the three, you can't space the floor. right? Floor spacing is based on movement, various actions, right? DeMar DeRozan also is very good at the deep too, right? Like he might as well shoot threes, but for whatever reason, because it's routine, right? His routine is not to take that extra step back. It's where he's at, rise up and knock down the shot, right? So I'm not worried about DeMar DeRozan fitting in if JJ Redick is offensive sound the way that I believe he is. And I do think that there is a lot of value with DeMar DeRozan. Let's look at the two finals teams this year, right? The DeMar DeRozan is really good at the mid-range, especially when you get to the playoffs. The mid-range is so incredibly valuable because teams are trying to protect the rim and they're trying to run off the three-point line, right? So you look at teams, the Dallas Mavericks, right? Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic. Live, and operate in the mid-range. Yes, can they shoot threes? Yes, can they do other stuff? Yes, but they like to operate in the mid-range, kind of get to that like free throw line extended and rise up. Also, both are able to shoot over the top. DeMar DeRozan is able to shoot over the top. The Lakers don't really have a good over the shot or over the top shooter. Anthony Davis can do it on occasion, but he hasn't been very great at that since the bubble. And LeBron, he can even be hot and cold with that, right? So you saw Denver. Let's take the Denver series, for example. The two game winners that we lost on by Jamal Murray, what did he take? They were mid-range, right? What happened? The first one was on the elbow over Anthony Davis, shooting over the top of Anthony Davis in that mid-range. And then the other one was Austin Reeves chasing him off the three-point line. He steps in. Austin Reeves is now trailing. Anthony Davis is stepping up to close, and Jamal Murray just rises up from basically the free throw line. I think it was like the weak side corner of the free throw line, just rises up and knocks down the shot. And we lose, right? All the things that are very valuable come the playoffs, come even during the regular season, to have a guy that can just go get a bucket. The Lakers don't really have that outside of LeBron James. Anthony Davis needs setup, needs to get established. Reeves, he can do it at times, but he can also be inconsistent in that regard. DeMar DeRozan is one of the best in the league in that regard, right? So to have that and his ability to just go get a bucket. I mean, how many times was our offense just completely stagnant? We lost to Denver and we were winning every one of those games because our offense just went stagnant. To have a guy in DeMar that you could just give the ball to and he can just go to work, one of the best clutch performers the last like 10 years or 5 years, right? He's been one of the best fourth quarter scorers in the league the last like 5 years. Like there's so much value with DeMar DeRozan that he brings. And he'll take pressure off of LeBron. I could go on and on. Like literally, I could probably spend an hour talking and diving and breaking down all the positives with DeMar. If we get DeMar, I'll go more in depth in that if that ends up happening. But I really like the idea of DeMar DeRozan. I think he'll be massive for the Lakers, personally. Carter coming in hot with another super chat. Why not Buddy Hield also with DeMar and more? I mean, it's always a possibility. Like Buddy Hield is not somebody you're running to the door for. Like he's not worth the mid-level exception, especially considering the type of roster we have, right? Like if it was one of those things where it's like, man, we just really need a three-point shooter, right? And we're golden, then sure, right? But to me, it's like you got to go get the talent. You got to get somebody that would be valued in that regard. Now, if the Lakers, because word is the Lakers are potentially trading for DeMar. So if they end up having something where they end up trading for DeMar, and push comes to shove, maybe you break down the mid-level exception into like Buddy Hield and something else, right? So I don't rule out the possibility of there being multiple pieces, but it's got to be, we got to wait for that first domino, whoever it was. The hope was that it was Klay. Turned out it was, right? Because Klay went to Dallas. So we'll see how it plays out. But I appreciate you. Can they get LaVine and DeRozan? Technically, yes. Is it likely? No. I mean, technically, like DeMar DeRozan could sign for the mid-level exception, and then you could just go trade for Zach LaVine if you wanted to. But there are a couple things. One, there were reports the last few years that DeMar and LaVine didn't get along. Right? There was talks that they were like fighting in the locker room and stuff. Not like, I don't know if they were physically, but they had like arguments and stuff. Right? Like there was reports that him and LaVine were not seeing eye to eye. So if that's the case, I'm sure that they're not going to want to come to the Lakers together. You know, I mean, it also could just be frustrations. Guys get caught up in the moments, right? I mean, even the most sound teams, you know, have their fights, have their arguments. But I mean, is it like, can they? Yes. Will they? Probably not. You know, because DeMar is probably going to want more than the mid-level exception. And so you're probably giving DeMar, you're probably signing and trading for DeMar, and then using the mid-level exception on somebody else, and then probably making another trade to get like a big man or something like that. Whatever other piece you need is probably my guess of how I think things will go down. But rather go after Miles Bridges over DeMar DeRozan. Problem is like, is Miles Bridges really going to come for the mid-level exception? Right? Like, I would love it if he can. I mean, you're talking about legit, you know, 6'8", sizable forward that could play both positions, go get you 20, defend the best player on the other team. Like, Miles Bridges makes a ton of sense from a basketball perspective for the Lakers. But the problem is you run the risk, like you wait around for him, he signs a new contract with Charlotte, and if DeRozan's off the table, now what? You know, to me, it's like if DeRozan's willing to come. But they might end up having to trade for DeMar. So if they trade for DeMar, then you could still, like, if Bridges is willing to take the mid-level exception, then take the mid-level exception, right? So there's still options. Again, it's going to boil down to, like, what's that first domino? What's the first domino that falls, and how does that trickle in? We're gonna find out here. Hopefully tomorrow. You know, my boy Tyler, you look tired. But wait, you can't sleep thinking about what happened. Yeah, seriously. It's the struggle of this right now, right? You know, you get news at like 1 a.m. I was like in the middle of like prepping videos for the morning stuff, like, you know, had some like early morning, like pre-recorded stuff, get ready to go to sleep for a couple hours. And then boom, we get the news of Paul George. Like, ah, man, right? It's the beauty of free agency, right? Got to stay on top of it. You know, so it's busy. It's busy, but you know, hey, I love it. I'm very thankful to be able to do this and to have people that want to listen, right? I mean, like right now we have 700 people in this live stream. Like, that's crazy. There's 700 people right now that are just chilling, like, hey, let's talk and hang out. Like, that's beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing. I'm trying to close in on 22K, which, by the way, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Also like the video, but like, yeah, to just be in this position, like, I'm not going to complain about the blessing, right? But you got to grind, right? You got to work. I want to be a fixture. I want to be a staple in the space, right? I want to be one of the more known people in the sports world, right? So you gotta work hard, right? This is only my second full year, so we're climbing. Let's see, DeMar not happening. We're gonna find out. It's very possible. Trevor was discussing DeMar and LaVine combo with LeBron and AD. I mean, look, it makes sense. I mean, the offensive firepower that you'd have. And look, DeMar DeRozan has shown the ability to initiate the offense. So you could go with like a DeMar, LaVine. I'd probably go with Vando at that point, unless you can get, you know, a 3-and-D guy. Like, can you get a Dorian Finney-Smith or something like that? But like, yeah, I mean, you could go with DeMar. You go with LaVine. And then have like Jared Vanderbilt, because I think you'd have enough offensive firepower at that point. And then LeBron and AD. It's tough, right? You got a ton of offensive firepower. Defensively, there'd be some questions, but DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine both, when they're locked in and engaged, they're not like elite defenders, but they're good enough when you would have Jared Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis out there. So, like, look, if it happened, cool, I'd be all for it. But I just think it's little unrealistic. I think the Lakers will go for one or the other, and there still would be other pressing needs, right? And you're banking on DeMar signing the mid-level exception, and you're banking on that the reports of them not seeing eye to eye was just, a moment thing rather than like they just don't like each other. So let's see. Does Lee GM even have more money? Let's see. AR and Vando are untouchable, and Ruin D'Lo are only trade assets. Other than that, most of these players won't even make the roster. They're shopping Jared Vanderbilt. Austin Reeves is the only guy that's like untouchable. And I mean, he's not untouchable, but they basically are treating him like they're treating him like the Nets treated Miles Bridges. Let's see. MLE only for DeRozan, or it's not worth it. I think he's worth at least $20 million. If you can sign and trade for him for $20 million, I will take that. If he wants 25, 30 million, then no, I think you stay away. But here's the question you have to ask. What is our other option? Right? Like going and getting, trading for Brook Lopez and, Cam Johnson doesn't make us a contender. DeMar DeRozan is a ceiling raiser. Right? I'm not saying DeMar DeRozan comes and we're the best team in the league, but he gives, like, based on what's available right now, he gives us the best shot, right? Because he's a proven scorer, a guy that can go get a bucket, a guy that could give you 20 plus a game, right? Like, and then you have Austin Reeves and LeBron and AD and all these other guys. Like, what's your alternative? Like, if you don't get DeMar, like, I'm not saying you are so desperate you greatly overpay for him, but his value is the 15 to 20 million range, so if you can work that out and then use your mid-level exception to go get somebody else or another piece, I don't mind that because you could still do other things, right? It just depends on how it shapes out. I don't think the fit would be as bad as people are making it seem with DeRozan. I don't think so either. Could there be a little bit of a learning curve? Of course, right? But I think it'll be fine. No center left team doesn't have a backup point guard, and now DeMar is the Lakers' only hope. LOL. Again, a lot could happen, right? Like, there's still guys like Tyus Jones on the market that you could probably get if you needed a point guard in a pinch. Worst case scenario, like I said, you just have DeMar be the initiator. Like, JJ wants to run a free-flowing offense where there's just constant movement and action and stuff. You're not going to need like a traditional bring the ball up, get guys. You just need an initiator and then get your offense going, right? And then you'd always have LeBron to where, if you do need somebody to kind of slice and dice, you can just put the ball in his hands and let him go do that. So I don't think it'd be the end of the world. I would like a point guard, at least a backup point guard, depending on how things shape up. But I was kind of hoping Chris Paul would be willing to come and take the vet minimum because I think he would have been perfect off the bench. But, hey, he got his bag with the Spurs, which I think is huge for the Spurs. So, Bronny Rookie of the Year, I don't know about that. I don't know how much he's even going to see the floor. That kitchen is closed, Tyler. Rob is not cooking. I hope that's not the case. I hope there's something going on behind the scenes. Get DeMar DeRozan, Cam Johnson, Brook Lopez. I would love that. I'd be all for that. What if he does nothing? Then he does nothing. Like I said, we'll judge him accordingly. If he does nothing, then we'll talk about it. And I'm not going to be happy. No one's going to be happy about that. But my thing is, like I said, everyone's ready to grab their pitchforks, and we don't even know what's going to happen, right? Like, what happens if he does pull something off? I'm not saying he will. I don't know. I'm operating on the idea of I don't know, right? And I personally am not ready to just be like, oh, the Lakers are trash, nothing's going to happen. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we get DeMar, we get Miles Bridges, we get, Clint Capella. Oh, we also got, Tyus Jones on a vet minimum. Like, and it's like, wow, all of a sudden you just boom, 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 boom. And now it's like, oh no, we're a real contender now. We're one of the better teams in the league. And now I look silly going like, oh, Lakers are trash. Like, again, you gotta let cooler heads prevail. Drink free all sorrows. Is this more of a reflection of Rob or that teams don't want to do any deals because it's the Lakers and nobody wants to help them anyways? I don't know. See, here's the problem is we don't know what the conversations are behind the scenes, right? We're going on under the assumption we know, right? And we're going on the assumption that all these other deals are being made. Why aren't the Lakers, right? But there's a couple factors. One, I'm sure the Laker tax is a real thing, right? We've seen it in action. No one wants to be that team that makes the Lakers a champion again, because it gets more attention than anything. Boston won the championship and nobody cared, right? Like the Aces and what was it? The Aces and Fever game got like more views than Boston winning the championship or something. It was like some crazy stat I saw, something like that, right? Like, but if the Lakers win, the whole world is going to be talking about it, and the whole world is going to be pointing to that team that did that. So I do think that there is this sense of like, I need to get a deal that I can justify. I can't get fleeced by the Lakers. But I also think that there is a level of, does this move really make us better? Right? Like, the Lakers are incredibly limited, right? And a lot of people just want to trade just to have a trade, just to say, oh, we got this guy. But again, let's say you give up all your picks and you get Brook Lopez and you get, say a Cam Johnson, right? Now you have no more first to trade. Does Cam Johnson and Brook Lopez, does it make us better? Yes, right? But does it make us a bona fide contender? No, right? Or let's say you even get something, say you get, Cam Johnson, say you get Cam Johnson and like, Clint Capella or something like that, right? But you have to give up all your picks. Like, again, does that make you better? Because that's basically your team now, right? So I think it's a combination of nobody wants to be the team, but also does this trade with our limited assets make sense for us to actually make? Yes, the fans would love to see, oh, we just got whatever, but does it make the most sense for the team now and the future? Because you need to balance that, right? Like, you want to win now, of course. And if a trade is there, you make it. But you also don't want to make a trade just to make a trade. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I'm old enough to remember when the Lakers did that, and we ended up with Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov, and we were paying Luol Deng till 3 years ago or whatever, right? Like, it can be bad. I'd rather no trade than a bad trade, right? I'd rather nothing happen than oh man, look at now we're screwed for the next 5 years. We're not winning a chip, and there goes our chance to rebuild. So I think it's just a combination. But Joe, coming out with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I nominate Caitlin Clark to take LeBron's roster spot on Team USA. Goofy boy is 40. Makes me sick. And I'll step in for AD. What are they doing? I mean, look, they're out there. I mean, this kind of feels like it's LeBron's last run. He's probably not going to play another Olympics. So, I mean, the concern is obviously if they get hurt, we're in trouble, but I think it'll be all right. I just think that they'll go out there, they'll play. They're not going to play. LeBron's probably not going to be playing 30 minutes a game for Team USA. He'll probably play, 10, 15 minutes a game. Same thing with Anthony Davis. All right, Anthony Davis will probably go out there, play 10, 15 minutes a game. Same thing with Joel Embiid. Same with all these guys. So, luckily, all the top teams have a guy that's on this roster. So they're all kind of taking the risk. But, again, we'll see how it plays out. Happy birthday, Jack. Your birthday's in the next hour. Awesome. Happy birthday. Let's see. Rob has been terrible to make a deal done. I mean, again, it's day 2 and it's early. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, but let's wait and see. If we get to the season, or we get, through free agency and pretty much it's done, if we're a week or so from now and we haven't done anything, then yeah, grab the pitchforks, grab the torches and let's go. But right now, day 2, again, not much has happened. There's still a million trades there's still a lot that can happen. Look, I'm not saying he's doing good. I'm not saying he's doing bad. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that are just going to say something, just say something. I don't have the information yet, right? So to me, I just want to be patient. Patience is definitely one of my virtues. I'll tell you that. Most of the best free agents are gone, though. We'll have to do trades. Yeah, but the thing is, like, who are you getting? Right? All those guys got paid. Lakers couldn't pay any of those. Like, the Lakers are vet minimums and mid-level exception. Like, who are you getting for that mid-level exception? Right? Like, who was there that was just like, that was, like, damn, we really should have gotten that guy. Now you're talking about language, Tyler, here. Appreciate you, Sammy. Wouldn't mind trading Rui. It depends on who it is, right? Depends on what's going on. Dudley about to sign with the Lakers coach, but literally just, he made a post about Klay and stuff, and talking about how he's excited for Klay. So I don't know. I don't know. LeBron has to play the 3. AD has to play the 4. Otherwise, no championship. I disagree personally. Look, you could play AD at the 5. You could play LeBron at the 4, right? Like, to me, it's about talent. Like, we need enough talent. And who's that center that's really changing things, right? Like, if you want just a 7-footer, we have Jackson Hayes, right? But is Jackson Hayes alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James, is that better than, say, Miles Bridges, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis? No, right? And, like, look at the teams. Like, for people that are like, oh, we need a big center. Like, who was the big center for Boston? Who was the big center for Dallas, right? They had floor running, skinny big men, right? Like, and again, Jokic wasn't our problem. We didn't lose because Jokic was just so good we had no answer. We lost because Michael Porter Jr. played like he was prime Klay Thompson or prime Steph Curry. Jamal Murray played like he was Michael Jordan, right? Like, go look at the Memphis series or the Minnesota series, right? None of those guys played like that. Dude, Michael Porter Jr. was so bad that Mike Malone had to come out and defend him. It was like, oh, we don't even get past the Lakers if it wasn't for him. Like, again, like Jokic, you're never going to stop Jokic. There is no Jokic answer. If there was a center that was out there right now that was the answer to Jokic, every team in the league would be trying to trade for that guy. Like, whatever team had that guy either is probably making it out the West every year or is getting a huge return because teams would be lining up for it, right? To me, it's a talent issue. We got to have enough talent. We have to have pieces that make sense. Our issue wasn't Anthony Davis playing the 5. Our issue was we don't have any frontline defense in the backcourt. We don't have any point of attack. We don't have any athleticism. The offensive rebounds, like a lot of people go, oh, we were terrible offensive rebounding. It was all loose balls. It was all long balls because we don't have perimeter defense. Teams are taking shots. The balls are coming down, and we don't have the foot speed out on the perimeter to go get and chase down the balls. Again, there's footage. Just watch the Denver series. Most of the rebounds were chase down rebounds where, even the one where Aaron Gordon got the rebound and kicked it out to Michael Porter Jr., right? He chased that down. It wasn't like he just went, grabbed it off the glass, and then kicked it out. No, he was on one side, it bounced off, and he just went and got it, and then grabbed the rebound and kicked it out. So, again, we got to get athleticism. We got to get guys that can chase down balls. We got to get guys that are versatile across the board. LeBron at the 4 is fine. Like, AD at the 5 is fine. There's not very many people that are better. Like, everyone's always so worried about Jokic. Like, we didn't lose because of Jokic. We lost because of everybody else, right? And the teams that made it the farthest, none of them even had big guys other than Minnesota, right? Like, so again, I don't think, I'm not saying we don't need a center. We do. I would like to have a center, but I don't think it's something that's so dire that it's like, oh man, and who is that center? Like, I'd love to get Miles Turner, but he's probably not available, right? It's happening before our eyes. I don't know. We're going to find out. Can we even sign him? Yeah, if he takes the mid-level exception. Otherwise, we got to work out a sign and trade. Let's see. What is the Lakers doing? Nothing. You're not wrong. Well, so far at least. Miles Bridges, I'd love to have Miles Bridges. Let's see. Bronny is not an NBA player. Oh, how do you know that? Avery Bradley wasn't an NBA player at one point. Mario Chalmers wasn't an NBA player at one point. Again, Avery. There we go. StreamYard just, I'm back. Sorry, everyone. Had some technical. StreamYard just like crashed. And like everything was like the mic wouldn't connect, the video wouldn't connect. All right, we're back. We're good. All right. Tyler doesn't care about us. Of course I do. I've just been spending 5 minutes trying to panic and get everything together. Snuck a drink is Dr. Pepper. I wish. Yeah, sorry about that. We just lost like half the chat because of it. But anyway, we're back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like the camera and the microphone just like crashed. I was here, but the microphone and camera just like went blank. And it just said like couldn't connect. So StreamYard is tripping. But like I said, we're back. All right. I have no idea where I was at because of that. So I'm just going to pick a spot and we're just gonna take off from there. So bro in LA won. AD played the 5, stopped playing. Yeah, he was usually the guy closing at the 5. Lakers should have gotten PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. You could have made an argument to get both. That would have been nice. That would have been real nice. If AD gets injured, season is over, we play. I mean, but you could say that about any team, right? Like if, Tatum gets injured, Celtics are probably done. If Luka gets injured, they're probably done. I mean, can't predicate things on injuries. We're going to get James Wiseman, guys. I don't hate the idea of James Wiseman. Like, I really think, I don't know if James Wiseman's good because I don't know. Like, I don't think he had a fair shake, in my opinion, right? Like, you look at James Wiseman, he's drafted to probably the worst team for his skill set. And then you add in the fact that, like, he gets traded to a team that has like 5 centers, right? Like, so it was just like, unless James Wiseman was like unbelievably good, he just didn't make sense, right? So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. 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 Let's Tyler's so accurate, we don't need a center. A trade for Wendell Carter isn't realistic anymore for D'Lo because they signed KCP, right? I mean, it is. I mean, they still wanted they wanted D'Lo for his playmaking and his shooting, right? Like KCP doesn't give you the playmaking, right? So they still might want D'Lo, but right now it's looking, again, based on reports. I don't know this for certain, but based on reports, it looks like the Brooklyn Nets are trying to get D'Lo. Is what it's shaping up to be. All right. DeMar Miles would be nice. Tyler, we can't keep using Anthony Davis on Jokic and Embiid. We desperately need a center. But again, like, who's that center? And I'm not saying don't get a center. I'm just saying that, like, Anthony Davis is probably going to close at center regardless, right? I would like to have a center to where we can play AD at the 4 more. But even in our championship run, somebody even said it, right? Like, AD was closing. Like, yes, we had Dwight Howard and we had JaVale McGee, and JaVale was starting. Dwight was coming off the bench. But in the playoffs, who was closing? It was Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis at the 5 was the guy that was closing for us. So I just I don't mind having that balance is my point. Trae Young, I still am all for Trae. Again, I have my reservations with Trae, but he is a guy that gives us the best opportunity, right? He's the guy that gives us the best leapfrog chance. I got banished to the shadow realm. What happened to you, Tyler? It's funny reading all these comments, all the things when everything just cut off. Yeah. Tyler was just signed as our center. He just received the call from Robin possibly. I was like, oh, I gotta go. Yeah. The next goat, Tyler. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Tyler got traded to the Hornets. This is great. I love this. As long as it's not Detroit. Edie going to be the answer watch. I mean, it's very possible. I don't know about his rookie season, but eventually. Let's see. Trae coming maybe. I mean, it's always a possibility. Right? I wouldn't rule out Trae. He's a guy that supposedly doesn't want to go through a rebuild, right? He's a guy that doesn't want to have to deal with the whole rebuild process. So if that's true, if he requests a trade, the Lakers make a lot of sense. I don't know how I feel about the idea of like Trae and like DeMar. Like if you get DeMar, I don't know if you should go get Trae, but yeah, I wouldn't hate it as like if it doesn't work out, it's like let's see. I can't wait for Bronny to prove everyone wrong and actually be a decent player. I think he's going to be a decent player too. Lakers try to shut Bro down. They're trying to silence me. I will not stand for this. Let's see. Who did we get? Nobody yet, unfortunately. But should we get a guy from Europe? I mean, that's kind of the trend, right? Like I said, I don't mind them trying to get some big man, but I just think that that's not, again, who's that guy? Like, I just think that there's other pressing priorities. Like, let's say we get Clint Capella or somebody like that, right? Like, do we immediately become better than everybody? No, right? Like, we need talent. We don't have the talent. If we were just a center away from being the best team in the league, sure, but we're not, right? Like, if we were, a center away from being elite, then sure, but we're not, right? Like we have a talent problem, right? Like it's not a center problem. Let's see. Can we get Miles Bridges? Can we? Yes, absolutely. Will we? I don't know. Might be a little tough. Let's see. 80 at the 4 is the only way to win. I don't know if that's the only way to win, considering, again, AD played the 5 when we won. What are the Lakers actually doing? Yeah, that's what we're all waiting around for. We don't need a center. Would it be good to make AD comfortable? Yes. But given the 2 solid 3 AD wins for a center, yeah. Like I said, center's definitely on the list of things. I just don't think it's at the top. Get rid of Spencer and Gaze. I like Spencer a lot. I really hated. I was gonna say it's something else, but trying to keep it, rated G for everyone, right? Like, I really hated the way that Darvin Ham utilized Spencer Dinwiddie. He utilized Spencer Dinwiddie awful, like terrible. Like, he didn't know who he was. He operated him as if he was a 3-and-D guy when he's a point guard, right? Like, he did the same thing with Christian Wood, Rui Hachimura. Like, he didn't know how to maximize his players. They could have moved AR to point and trade D'Lo for small forward like DeRozan. I mean, like I said, it depends on what other pieces fall. I mean, obviously Melton signed now, but Gary Trent Jr. I would love to have. Just feels like we aren't getting anyone. Run it back, I guess. Like I said, it's still very, very early. A lot can happen. A lot of dominoes can fall rather quickly. Wiseman couldn't even crack the rotation in Detroit. I think it's safe to say he's a bust. I mean, in his defense, Jalen Duren became like a 2020 monster. Like, that dude was ridiculous. He's shown flash. Like, I think he definitely needs development, but I don't think he's like plug and play ready. But I don't hate the idea. He showed flashes in Golden State and in Detroit. I just think that he needs like a year or two to like figure it out. I wouldn't mind Jared Allen, but I don't think that they're going to trade him. If we trade the Brooklyn Nets, should we also get Cam Thomas? I would love to get Cam Thomas if we could pull that off. I think Cam Johnson is probably my biggest priority, and then Dorian Finney-Smith, and then like if you can't, like let's say you can't get Cam Johnson, okay, can we get Dorian Finney-Smith? And then if you can get like Cam Thomas attached to one of those two, then yes, because Lakers would need a wing, especially if they're going to go get DeMar DeRozan. They're going to need somebody at that 3 spot that can defend. Minnesota played big. That's why they won against the Nuggets. I wasn't just that. Again, Michael Porter, go look at everyone's numbers and tell me if you believe that. Again, Mike Malone had to go and defend how bad his team was. Jamal Murray played like he was Michael Jordan, right? Hitting game winners and clutch shots. He was awful in that series. Michael Porter Jr. averaged like 20 a game in that series, and he averaged like 8 in this. Like Minnesota, and they still forced the game 7, right? Like Karl Anthony Towns actually defended Jokic better than, like, for everyone that's like, oh man, Minnesota was so great. Jokic had a career playoff run. Literally, like, they didn't bother him at all, right? Like, at all. So, again, you're talking about the 4-time defensive player of the year, 2 7-footers, and Jokic played as if they weren't even there. If Denver had anybody else show up, they win that series. They beat Minnesota. They were up 20, and they blew it. Not because of Jokic. It's not like Minnesota solved the Jokic problem. Jokic dominated them. It was the perimeter. It was, again, KCP was not as good. Michael Porter Jr. was terrible. I mean, terrible, like unplayably bad, right? Jamal Murray was awful, right? Like, that's what it was. Lonnie Walker has not signed yet. He'll be another vet minimum guy. And then D'Lo necessarily filler, and 2 picks for Cam Johnson, who is beating Tyus Johnson, Grant, LeBron, 80 with Reeves, Christie, Vandal off the bench. It's talking Tyus Johnson, Grant, LeBron, and 80. I don't hate that. Can Johnson play the 2 though? It's the question. I know it's not that far off from the 3, especially in today's NBA, but He is like 6'8". He'd be big. My concern though is like you're still very LeBron and AD reliant to create everything. That's why I really like the idea of like a DeMar DeRozan, because now you're not so LeBron and AD have to create everything centric. That's why I like even Klay. Like I like the idea of Klay, but he doesn't take pressure off of LeBron and AD. Let's see. This is the only scenario I am setting for. This is best case scenario. Forget DeMar. I really like the idea of DeMar personally. He doesn't have to. That's why you get a center, so he doesn't have to play all game. But Jalen Trevino, a bust. JHS, a bust. Though, how do you know JHS is a bust when he hasn't even played a real meaningful game yet? Any chance of Lauri Markkanen? If I'm being honest, no. Is there a chance? Sure. Like half the league is trying to trade for Lauri Markkanen right now, and there are multiple teams that just have way more assets than we have. If we got Lauri Markkanen, I would be genuinely surprised, like genuinely. Now, there's a report that the Lakers are supposed to make a compelling offer, but unless they're giving up Reeves, which I don't believe that they're going to do, they're not even going to have they're not even going to have a shot, right? Like, so we need a wing that can defend and score a little. Yes, I agree. Let's see. Tyler, we didn't make any trades at all. Are we done? No, not yet. Again, it's day 2. And there hasn't been like that much movement to where it's like, oh no. Again, we'll see what the first domino is. They're trying to work on DeMar DeRozan. Do they land DeMar? We're going to find out. Probably in the next day or 2. We'll probably start seeing that snowball. Or not. And then if not, then we got our answer, right? Let's see. Bron's a wing, but he's too old to lock. That's why he's best at the 4 at this stage. Let's see. Bron at the point. We got Chris Paul playing point, so I don't see why not. But the difference is Chris Paul at this stage is playing the point guard, and he doesn't have to do everything that LeBron does, right? If all we needed LeBron to do was just be the point guard, then fine. But we don't. We need LeBron to be the point guard, go score 25 a game, rebound, get 8 to 10 rebounds a game. Like if Chris Paul's just all he's going to do is just set up. Like Chris Paul's averaging like 8 points a game now the last like few years, right? Like so it's not a good comparison, right? Like if we had, Klay Thompson and Zach LaVine along with Anthony Davis, all stuff, then sure, right? Like LeBron could just be point guard and then just go get 15 here and there, right? But no, we need him to be excellent, right? And it's a lot of wear and tear. It's a lot of pressure. And look, Chris Paul keeps breaking down every year, right? Why? Because he's so on ball. It wears you down. Now, imagine if that happens to LeBron, right? Now, the season's over. If nothing happens tomorrow, I'm just going to assume Lakers running back. I don't know. I mean, it could be a little process because they got to especially if they're working on a 3-team trade, that takes time, right? Because all parties have to agree. And then they all agree, and then one of them goes, you know what? On second thought, I want that. And then you got to start all over. Like 3-team trades take a while, right? So if they really are working on a 3-team trade, then Tyler, why is DeMar signing the Lakers taking so long? Because they're trying to see if they can work out a trade for him. Because he'd prefer not take the mid-level exception. I think I'm pretty confident that DeMar's going to come just based on the news, the information that we have. I'm like very confident he comes. They're just trying to see if they can trade for him so that way they could still use the mid-level exception for other guys, and then they could still make other trades. And they're basically trying to maximize on what they can do, right, is basically the idea. Trying to maximize on the okay, we get DeMar, that's great, but we need more than just DeMar. So they're looking at like what's the best course, what's the best path for success. LeBron is best at the 4. Like, again, the Lakers aren't playing Anthony Davis at the 5 just to spite him, right? Like, Anthony Davis has been incredibly vocal about how much he does not want to be the 5, right? But he understands, and there's a reason every time, like all these coaches, like even Frank Vogel was playing him at the 4. Like, there's a reason that all these people keep playing it, because LeBron wants to play the 4, right? I mean, LeBron's even talked about it. LeBron's even said the 4 is his natural position, right? Like, it's because of LeBron. It's not because they're like, oh, who cares what Anthony Davis says? No, like, it's because LeBron. Now, could JJ convince LeBron to maybe play more and take some shit? Sure. But I still think LeBron's going to be primarily the 4. AD will be primarily the 5. Now, so like, let's say they both played 35 minutes, right? They probably played 20 minutes at the 4 and 5, and then the other 15 at like the 3 and 4, right? I'm not looking forward to next season. If we don't do anything, we're absolutely cooked. Yeah, if we don't do anything, then yeah, or if anything significant, like even if we go get DeMar DeRozan, are we better? Yes. Are we a lot better? Yes. But so are like 5 other teams, right? Like, so we need more than just DeMar DeRozan. So could we realistically get Miles Bridges? Yes. It just boils down to Bridges. Like, Bridges has all the control. He's an unrestricted free agent. He can decide, he could come to Lakers for the vet minimum if he wanted to, right? He's not going to, but I'm just saying, like, he has all the say. It comes down to, does he want the bag? Does he want the bag from Charlotte? And is Charlotte willing to give him the bag? Supposedly Charlotte only wants to give him like $20 million. Does he come to the Lakers for, say, $13 million and try to raise his stock a little bit so that way he could get a bigger bag? Right? Because Miles Bridges was like unbelievably good last year. Like shocking that almost all-star level good last year. And nobody talks about him. Nobody cared. Like, nobody noticed how good of a season he just had. Why? Because he's on Charlotte and they were terrible. But if he does that with the Lakers, he's getting a bag for sure, whether it's from the Lakers or somebody else. Let's see. Can Lakers get James Wiseman? Yeah, absolutely. Tyler, imagine if we had Klay Thompson. Imagine if LeBron passes the ball to Klay wide open to win the game. We miss on Klay, man. Top 3 shooter of all time. I love the idea of Klay. I don't here's the thing. Klay may end up hating Dallas. If Dallas doesn't change the way that they play offensively, then Klay makes zero sense. Like, if we're going off of the way that Dallas played last season, Klay makes zero sense for that team outside of being a spot-up shooter. But the Mavericks were the most ISO-heavy team in the league. Luka Doncic was number 1 in the league in isolation, and Kyrie was 4th. Like, they don't pass the ball. They were 15th, I think, or like tied for 15th or something like that off the top of my head. They were like 15th in assists, right? Like, they don't pass. Like, it's Luka and Kyrie dominating the ball and either scoring or kicking out. So Klay is basically just going to be standing there the entire time and just like waiting for one of them to pass it to him, right? When he's a motion shooter, right? That's what makes him so great. And that's what's so odd, that he really chose Dallas over LeBron, where, especially with JJ and the offense that JJ wants to run, it's very similar to what he does in Golden State. So it just, I don't know, but no, look, if it works, it's good. Dallas is going to be tough, right? And they got what's his name? Najee Marshall. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Katie, I'll take a pay cut from. 80 forgot how to shoot threes. That's another reason it's tough to play AD at the 4 too. Can't shoot anymore. What's the 3-team trade that they're thinking about? As far as all the players, we don't know like all the details yet, but supposedly it'll be a 3-team between the Nets, the Bulls, and the Lakers. Supposedly Brooklyn wants D'Lo. They also want to get off of several players, right? They want to get off of Cam Johnson. They want to get off of Dorian Finney-Smith. They want to get off of Ben Simmons. And who is the other guy? I don't remember who the other guy was off the top of my head, but basically they want to get it off of like 3 to 4 guys. And so they're willing to take D'Lo because D'Lo's an expiring contract and they kind of need a point guard to get through the season. So they kind of kill two birds with one stone, and then they can unload a guy. So fingers crossed, the Lakers complete that trade and they end up with both Cam Johnson and DeMar DeRozan. That would be ideal. If they can get Cam Johnson and DeMar DeRozan, now the Lakers are cooking. Because now you got a legit 3-and-D guy that can also put the ball on the floor and get his own buckets, shoot over the top. Like you're in good shape at that point. For D'Lo and a pick, I wouldn't hate somebody. I mean, you'd have to trade more than D'Lo, because Lakers are. I mean, they technically take on more money, but they're not going to want to. So you'd have to be D'Lo and. Because what is that? That'd be. What, 20, that'd be 30. See, probably like D'Lo and probably looking at like D'Lo and Rui for Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith, which I actually wouldn't hate. I get Cam Johnson, makes more sense at the 3. Dorian Finney-Smith, he could be your backup 3, or you can even slot him at the 2. You can move Johnson to the 4. Like you got more versatility, in my opinion, and you got 2 legit 3-and-D guys. So, I'm anxious to see Caston. I'm anxious to see Caston play this summer too. I'm right there with you, like 100%. I'm right there with you. Only problem with the Lakers backcourt, D'Lo especially cost us some games. I mean, the biggest problem with the Lakers backcourt is defensively. They just don't have the athleticism to stay in front of guys. I want DeRozan a new center, get rid of D'Lo. That's looking like the case here. Castleton's too skinny. Castleton's like what, 255, something like that? How much is Castleton? Castleton's not that skinny. Whoops, I should probably put Colin first. Colin Castleton. Let's see. He is 255 right now. So here we go. Here's updated. Let's see. What is he updated? Yeah, he's 250. He's 6'11", 250. So he's not that skinny. Lakers already have Wood and Hayes. Yeah, but Hayes is more of like your third big, and Wood is better at the 4 than he is the 5. I wanted Kevin Porter Jr. too. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. He went to the Clippers. Lakers need Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges would be great to have. Let's see. Play Christy Moore. That's the plan. Spence and Prince are still free agents, and guess what? Lakers can't even re-sign them because as Hayes and Reddish opted into their contracts, and Lakers refused to make a trade to free up the spot. Again, I expect to trade one way or another. Like, they're going to make some type of trade. Is it going to be like the big grand trade that we all want them to make? That I don't know. But they're going to they'll at least do a roster clearing trade. Unload 2 or 3 guys and give up a second or something. What do you think of Pat? Stay away from Pat Bev. I do not want Pat Bev anywhere near the Lakers. I think we're really going to run it back with the same exact roster from last season. We'll play in team again the best. It's just wild. I don't think that's happening. But again, I could be wrong. We'll see. No, I don't think Buddy Hield's worth the MLE. I think there's like, if he was like your last case scenario, then maybe, but nah, he's like at the bottom of the list. Let's see. You're asking more AD to be the 5 for 40 minutes a night for 70 games, then turn around and do it in the playoffs. Like, let's be for real. As 2020 AD closed in 2020, but he didn't have to go through the beatings. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind them. I'm not saying you don't get a center at all. I'm just saying, like, people want this, like, elite, like the center that people want isn't out there right now, right? Like, you just need somebody that's serviceable that can come in. AD is going to play majority at the center spot, right? I mean, we went to the conference finals at the center spot, and if guys showed up, we probably win that series, right? Like, it's just, again, you got to get somebody, but I don't think that like getting a center right now make the Lakers a contender, right? Say you go get Clint Capella or you go get, Jared Allen or something like that. Like pick your favorite center, that's not a star, like Joel Embiid or something like that. Pick your favorite center. Now add that center to this current roster and tell me, do you believe that they're a contender? Are they beating anybody? Not even Denver. Are they beating Minnesota? Are they beating anybody? No, right? Like, because they don't have the talent, right? We got to get a talent. We got to get the talent. You get the talent, then you get the little pieces that are going to come in and play 10 minutes a game. Chucky, coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Would you do mid-level and Rui plus picks for Brandon Ingram? I don't believe you can aggregate the mid-level exception. You can use it in a trade, but I don't know if you can combine it with a player, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it works. So, look, I would love that, right? Like, Brandon Ingram makes a ton of sense. Obviously, Brandon Ingram's got to want to stay because he could just walk in the offseason for nothing. But, like, if you get Brandon Ingram, sure. But I don't think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can use the mid-level exception to make a trade, right? So, like, we could get, like, if Tyus Jones opted in, right? Like, we could trade and go absorb him, right? I don't think Tyus Jones opted, but basically if he had his contract last year, or Dorian Finney-Smith is I think he's making more than the mid-levels. I think he's making like $14 million, but let's say he's making $13 million just for argument's sake. If he was making $13 million, you could just trade and like swap him and it works as like a traded player exception. But I don't believe you can stack that with Rui to then go make a trade for a guy. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So yeah, but yes, if I could do something like that, I would absolutely. I wouldn't even mind trading Rui and something else for BI. Like if we could get him. I obviously have my concerns with BI, but like again, not very many options out there. Why do people keep saying go get Trae like you make a contender? Please stop. I mean, on the surface, he would. You're talking about one of, if not the best player. You're talking about a guy. He's the only guy in the league that's averaged 25 and 10 the last 3 years. Like, you're talking about the best playmaker in the league, arguably. And you're talking about a guy that's 25 points a game, who would basically essentially be your third option. If JJ really does plan on playing LeBron off ball, then there's not very many people better than Trae to be your point guard. And then him and Anthony Davis long-term, he's also 25. Like, are there concerns about Trae? Absolutely. But he's probably the best realistic ceiling raiser that's out there. Because if it works, like, good luck. Trae's a guy that can close, he can hit shots, he can make plays. He'd make things so much easier for Anthony Davis. There's a lot to like about him. Let's see. If only Vando could shoot threes. Yeah, for real. If only. Gotta give credit to Rob for signing Connect for it. Yeah, that was a huge pickup. Hey, quiet. Yeah, hey, come here. Hey, Sucks, come here. Come here, Sucks. Come here, baby. Hey, I know. Hi. I got a new puppy, and my kids and everyone just got home, so she's all. Here, give me 1 second. Let me let her out. She's just gonna keep barking. Give me 1 second, everyone. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. Like I said, she won't stop barking. It's a puppy, so she's all like, "Oh, everyone's home. Pick me. Let's see. No, the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. There's more to basketball than a center. People worried about the 2-3 game matchups. AD needs help. What about it? The other 4 positions? Yeah, like, I mean, again, I'm not saying you don't, like, you just, we're good with Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis, but again, like, we don't have, you need more. We have a talent issue, right? We have so many needs that need to be addressed. right? Like the last thing right now we need is a center. We're not getting killed on the interior. We've been one of the better interior defense. We've been getting torched on the outside every game. Teams are having record shooting nights. We were like, what, 29th in defense or whatever, because as far as like perimeter goes, because we don't have the foot speed, we don't have the athleticism, we don't have the defense out there on the perimeter. We're getting torched. If you get that, it'll make things easier for Anthony Davis because now he doesn't have to work so hard. Yes, would it be nice to get a center for the Denver matchup or, for Minnesota matchup or whatever? Yes, but it's not the main priority. Again, if you add a center, I said this earlier, pick your favorite center that isn't a star, right? That's not a star. Add him to this roster. Even Miles Turner. Add Miles Turner to this, would be block shots, big body, can spread the floor, does everything. Does Miles Turner make us a contender? No, right? We're not better. We're not a top 3 roster in the Western Conference, right? Now, if you got Miles Turner and you got, DeMar DeRozan and you got this and you got, now you might be, but that's the problem is that like we need more than just one piece, right? We need several pieces. But to me, a center is kind of the last thing you need. Let's see, but I appreciate you. Thank you again. I really do appreciate it. JHS looked bad in garbage time. So does most players look bad in garbage time. Again, he averaged like 3 minutes a game. Like you're not playing organized basketball in garbage time. You're not. You're just trying to get out of the quarter. Like he torched and was tearing up the G League, tearing it up. Now, I understand it's the G League, but he also was a 20-year-old rookie that was coming in and that's a good sign. Now, guys that tear up the G League don't always translate, but it's the only real sample size we have to judge him on, and he killed it. I mean, he was great, right? Like, so to me, it's like, let's wait and see. Like, people are so quick to label him a bust, and it's like the guy hasn't even played. The guy got less than 1 shot attempt per game. The guy played less than 3 minutes per game. How do you know what he's good or bad at? How do you know? Like, if LeBron James played 3 minutes a game in only garbage time, he probably wouldn't look very good. He might have his moments here and there, but JHS had moments. So, just something to keep in mind. Lauri's going to need 4 first to get done. I guess, yeah, he's going to cost a lot. Let's see. We'll not make any moves. We're going to find out. We'll see. Klay didn't want to get cooked under the bright lights with all those bricks he's going to put up. Is Sexton a good defender or only looks like it? He has his moments. The problem is just the discipline, right? It's him staying focused and engaged. When he's focused and engaged, he can, because he's got a good lower center of gravity. He's got the foot speed, a little bit of a pit bull type guy. So, on the surface, yes, he looks great. Problem is that he can be inconsistent, right? Like, he'll have games where you look at him and you're like, man, this guy's great. And then he has games that where you're just like, I don't think we should ever play him again. And that's on both sides of the ball. I mean, offensively, he has games where, when he's on, you're like, man, this guy's a superstar. And then, the next game, you're just like, this guy might be out the league in a year. Like, he's really like, that's why he's available. That's why he's, not really talked about, because he's just so inconsistent. He's just so up and down. That's why, like, I like him, but not as a starter. Like, if he was like our 6th man, money. Let's get it. Are you surprised Rob hasn't gotten us a big center? No. And again, I mean, he might when all said and done. I just think it's one of the lowest. I just think it's one of the lowest issues right now. I just think if you had to like write a list of all the things that the Lakers need desperately, a backup center is kind of towards the bottom. Tyler Grant can create. Yeah, Jeremy Grant can definitely create. I don't mind Jeremy Grant, but there's a couple things with Jeremy Grant. One, He said he didn't want to be a third guy. Like the Lakers tried to trade for him when he was on Detroit, and he basically shut it down, right? Because he didn't want to be a third option. 2, his work ethic and like commitment is been a question everywhere he's gone, right? He just looks so uninterested at times and just like gets very disengaged, right? Like I'd love to have Jeremy Grant, but like, can he buy in and will he accept his role? You know, because not everybody wants to be the third guy. I mean, look at Kuz. Kuz could have went to Dallas and won another championship, and he was like, nah, I'm good. I already did that with LeBron and AD. Right? Like, he would have won another championship. He would have went back to Dallas. Well, not back to Dallas, but he would have went to Dallas. But he was like, no, I already won my ring. I'm getting the bag. I get to take 20 shots. I get to flirt with all the girls courtside. Like, why would I want to go to Dallas? Right? Like, is basically what ended up happening. So to me, it's like not everybody wants to come and be third fiddle to LeBron and AD. And Jeremy Grant has talked heavily about how he loves being in Portland. He gets to take 20 shots a game. He gets to basically be the guy, and he's making $30 million a year. Right? Does he really want to go and do that? Not everyone wants to win a championship or be the third guy. We need DeMar badly. I'm right there with you. Nets open for D'Lo reunion. Yes. Nets. Supposedly right now, the Lakers, Nets, and Bulls are trying to figure out a 3-team deal. Jaime Jaquez in LA would have been electric. He would have been if he got the opportunity. Right? A lot of people think because, where you're drafted matters a lot. And I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of people, like whoever the Lakers drafted, were probably not going to get a bunch of playing time. Like Jaime Jaquez was probably not going to play. Like Darvin Ham was probably not playing Jaime Jaquez over Taurean Prince in his 30 minutes a game. Like, he was probably not playing him over most of the guys he made the decision to play over. Right? Like, so it's nice to think like, man, if we had Jaime Jaquez, what would we look like? Jaime Jaquez might not have been Jaime. Like he might have been, people might be calling him about, why did the Lakers draft him? He's trash. Basically all the things that they're saying about Jalen Hood-Schifino, they might be saying about Jaime Jaquez right now. All we heard in training camp, right, was that everybody, the coach, LeBron, the players, everybody, what was the consensus? Jalen Hood-Schifino is torching everybody. Jalen Hood-Schifino is killing everybody. And he got 0 playing time. One of the reasons Darvin Ham got fired, supposedly, based on reports, I don't know this personally, but based on reports, one of the reasons he got fired was because he refused to play Max Christie, right, over Taurean Prince 30-minute stuff. Like, people look at Jaime Jaquez and Cam Whitmore and all these guys and just think, oh, man, if we had them, it would have been different. It probably wouldn't have been. They probably would never have seen the court because Darvin Ham was not going to play them. I mean, he wouldn't even play Max Christie. Max Christie was the best player in Summer League and just dominating everybody. All, like 5 of our top 6 lineups were all with Max Christie in it. Like everything from statistical standpoint to the eye test to everything all said Max Christie needs to play more. And Darvin Ham refused to play him, right? So you think he's going to go and play a rookie 40 minutes? So just something to keep in mind. No, I personally stay away from CJ. I'm not big on CJ. He's too hot and cold for me, and he's making way too much money. DeMar and Ayton, I'd rather have DeMar and Kessler. I don't Ayton can't get out of his own way. If he can just get out of his own way, I think he could be one of the better centers in this league. But that dude just he just can't get out of his mental. Let's see. Can we even get a 5? LeBron too old to play the 3. That's the problem. We need Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is making $23 million this year, which means you'd have to trade multiple guys to go get Brook Lopez. I would rather give me the younger Clint Capella, and he's making less money. Come on, Clay. Do you not like this? Yeah. I mean, he literally took less money and less years to go to Dallas. So clearly he wanted to go to Dallas more than the Lakers. A lot of people are like, oh man, it's, Rob Pelinka's trash. Rob Pelinka offered him more money more everything. And supposedly the Warriors didn't want to trade him like to the Lakers. Like they didn't want D'Angelo Russell or whatever. Let's see. I'd love Miles Bridges, but is he realistic is the problem. For letting Zoo go, yeah. Ivaka Zuba would have been nice to keep. Sorry, trying to find something real quick. Do you think Hartenstein got overpaid? 100%. I figured he'd probably get about 20 million, maybe like 22 million. He got like what, 30 million a year. But I get it. If you're the Thunder, he's kind of like the missing piece. And on top of that, like, you get a guy that can come in, slot in, be that high energy, be that big man, play him alongside Chet, go bigger, you play defense, and you kind of can afford it right now. And then, like, if you ever need to, like, you have a million picks and his contract, you can go trade that. If somebody, a star like Joel Embiid becomes available or something like that, right? Like, I get it. I don't hate the idea of what they did, but yes, is he overpaid? Yes. Adding DeMar and losing D'Lo and Vincent doesn't make this roster better. I disagree. I think DeMar gives you more general production than what both of those guys would be on a consistent basis. Consistency is the difference, right? Consistency is everything. DeMar, you know what you're going to get game in and game out from DeMar. D'Lo and Vincent, at times you don't know what you're going to get, and particularly the playoffs. I don't think DeMar is going to take the mid-level exception, 13 million, not too low. Yeah, but that's why they're working out a sign and trade, which is fine. You work out the sign and trade, get DeMar. You got the 13 million mid-level exception. Go pick up another piece and then go make that other trade to kind of get the guy you need. And now let's go try to win a championship. Let's see. Don't waste trade assets for DeMar. Convince him to take the MLE, then trade for Grant or Camador. They're not going to have to give up like a first and do all this stuff. They'd essentially get him. It basically be like what the Warriors got for Klay Thompson, right? Throw you a couple seconds. The Lakers might be able to get a Dorian Finney-Smith or a Cam in the deal, right? Like, and they're just kind of swapping players, and then that allows them to go make other moves. Right, and use their mid-level exception, right? It also depends on what they use their mid-level exception for. If they use their mid-level exception on like Buddy Hield, then yeah, that was stupid. But like, what if they use their mid-level exception on like, a Miles Bridges or something like that? Now you're set, right? Like, because Miles Bridges might not want to do, a sign and trade because he might want more money. So he might look at it as like, oh, I can go to Lakers, play for 13 million this year. Yes, it's not what I want, but if I'm great and we winning and I look good in LA, a team's going to pay me 25, 30 million, right? Look at like Hartenstein because he had a good run with the Knicks. Why? Because the Knicks have such a big spotlight on him. Imagine if Miles Bridges comes to the Lakers and he starts cooking and he's killing and torching teams and he's a big part, and especially if you win a championship with him, he's getting a bag, an absolute bag. Let's see. DeMar is better than D'Lo. D'Lo, Rui, JHS gave 2 firsts and some seconds for Trae. I'm all for landing Trae. If we get Trae, I'm all for it. I am, personally. I know not everyone's super sold on Trae, but personally, I am. Let's see. Lakers need Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is only going to sign a near max deal. Well, the Hornets don't even want to sign him to a near max deal. So I don't know if he's going to do that, because if they were offering him a near max deal, he would have already signed it. DeMar said he wants to play for Lakers. He is. Let's see. I don't think much gets done until the trade deadline. It's always a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. Aaron Gordon would be great. Lakers coming with a trade that shocks everyone. Just chill, let Rob cook. I'm with you. Tycoon. Bridges is underpaid. Agreed. Bridges underpaid not because of his basketball skills. Bridges underpaid because he did something very stupid. Not something I want to get into on the stream, but he did something very, very stupid, and that's why he's underpaid. Let's see. Just wait until Rob wakes up. What about Buddy Hield? I'd like Buddy Hield, but not the mid-level exception. Plus, Bridges would guarantee start on the Hornets too. Bridges would guarantee start on the Lakers. Like, the Lakers don't have anybody better than Bridges. Not name LeBron James and Anthony Davis, of course. Be patient, Laker fans. Exactly. Klay makes no sense in Dallas, but Dallas will still have a better record if the Lakers don't do anything. Yeah, I mean, look, Dallas is better than the Lakers currently, but yeah, Klay doesn't, unless they completely just change the way that they operate their offense, he doesn't make any sense for Dallas. He's really got to change. Like, Dallas has to fix the way that they operate on their offensive sets and schemes, like, big time. So we'll see how it plays out. But all right, I'm gonna go probably another 30 minutes and then skate on out of here. Real quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's power through for another hour. And then I gotta start setting up for tomorrow. I want to try to get a little sleep. I have gotten like no sleep. I'm just like worried. I was even like thinking about trying to take a nap earlier, and like I like laid down to try to take a nap because I slept like literally like 30 minutes last night, and then I was like, all I could think about is like, man, what if I fall asleep and something happens and I miss it? And so I don't know how much sleep I'm gonna get, but I get some videos made for the morning and then wake up early and all that stuff. So all right, let's power through. Dallas gave him more money. Silly. Dallas gave him less money. He signed 3 years, $50 million, right? He took $30 million less, right? So what is 3 years, $50 million? It's like what, $17.5 million a year, something like that, right? And the Lakers offered him 4 years, $80 million, which would be $20 million a year. So he got an extra year and he got $30 million more. So, not a hot take, but Dallas didn't get better. I don't think, and like I said, unless they change their offensive sets, they didn't. Like, Klay might demand a trade halfway through that season. Like if they don't end up changing the offensive sets. But with Klay, they might go, you know what? Like, let's switch it up a little bit. We need to sign DeMar for the exception and trade for Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams, or the Nets trade Cam, Dorian Finney-Smith, and probably not necessarily get a point of attack, Smart, Bruce Brown, or even Lonzo. Because now, if I'm not mistaken, now we can sign a buyout target. I would not be like, if Chicago can't find a trade for Lonzo and they buy him out, I would love to bring in Lonzo as your backup point guard. I wouldn't want to bring him in as like your main point guard, but like as your backup, like you're taking him on a vet minimum, probably non-guaranteed. Like, I would sign him up immediately, because if he can get back to any form that he was, I mean, you're talking about now a point of attack defense, we got all that stuff, would be great. So, let's see. Kim wouldn't help that much compared to DeMar. It would alongside DeMar, but yes, like if it was like one or the other, then yes. Let's see. They're gonna make a trade for Jeremy Grant. I don't know. I feel like if they were going to, it would have already been done. I could be wrong, but like, I don't like, Portland's never made a trade with the Lakers ever. So, Tyler, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow and you saw Steph Curry trade the Lakers? I would immediately go live and jump up and down, and you guys would see a different side to me. You guys are like, okay, he took something he shouldn't have taken. Like, I would be so stoked. Why does everyone hate D'Lo? Because he underperformed in the playoffs. So no, it's kind of one of those things. Like, what have you done for me lately? Look, I've been very defensive of D'Lo, but he hasn't been the greatest performer in big moments. All right, so it's basically what it boils down to. Edwin, coming out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. We pick up Seth Curry, trade for Grant, and sign DeMar. I wouldn't hate that. I don't mind bringing in Seth for like a shooter off the bench. Like there is an argument for Prince, bring back Prince over Seth just because of the size and familiarity. And he shot 40%. But Seth, I've always wanted Seth in a Laker jersey. So yeah, I mean, if you could get Grant, DeMar, and Seth, I think you're in good shape. I think the Lakers would be really good. Right, really good. Because now you got that defensive point of attack guy, a guy that go get you 20. You got DeMar DeRozan who go get you buckets all day. You got so you're probably going like Reeves. You're probably going Reeves, DeMar, Grant, LeBron, and AD with Seth off the bench as a shooter with Connect. And yeah, I wouldn't hate that at all. I would 100% be all for that, Edwin. I am right there with you. Let's see. Rui is better as a player, but Cam Johnson can defend the three. Rui got a dog walked every. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Like I love Rui too. I am right there with you. Like I don't want to trade Rui at all, but as long as LeBron's on this roster, he's never going to get the opportunity he needs because he's best at the four. He can't play the three. I preached all season long and said exactly what was going to happen with that starting five. And everything that I talked about happened almost verbatim, right? Because he can't defend the three. And he's a four. It's not a coincidence that all of his best games, all of his big games, all happened when he played the four. He literally had a career game playing the floor for the Lakers. Every time LeBron missed a game, what happened? Rui would go off, right? In the series, not this go around, but the last go around, right? When the Lakers played Denver or in the playoffs and all that stuff, Rui was playing the four a lot. He was in that weak side corner a lot and he was torching folks, right? Like it's just, unfortunately, it's not about who's better. It's about what's the bigger need and fit. And getting a guy like a Cam Johnson is a bigger need and fit. All right, let's see. Colin Caston was blacklisted for not taking a knee during the national anthem. I don't know about blacklisted, considering he's playing for the summer league team. Dorian Finney-Smith was the number one wing defender back with Dallas. Yes. Lakers are loaded with guards and forwards currently. They're probably going to unload like most of them. I like Trae as a pickup. Him and AD be a good fit. Yeah, I don't mind Trae at all. I definitely have my concerns. Don't get me wrong, but I think they 100% could be an excellent duo now and the future. But I can see Tyler Lakers will not make any moves in free agency. It's very possible. I think that they do something. I think bare minimum we get DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar's coming. Like again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I've been talking about DeMar DeRozan since the trade deadline last year, right? And him wanting to come and how much he's talked about it. I really think DeMar DeRozan, even when like the DeMar DeRozan Klay Thompson news broke. Right? What did I keep saying? I was like, yeah, get Klay. But I was like, if that falls through, DeMar DeRozan, go get DeMar. Right? Can you get DeMar? I was even talking about, can we get both? Can we get Klay and DeMar? Right? So I think DeMar, I'm pretty confident DeMar is going to be a Laker one way or another. Again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I got a pretty good feel that he's coming. Can't you see that the plan is to run it back? The plan is definitely not to run it back. They may end up being forced to run it back, but I don't think that's the plan. Can the Lakers get LaVine and DeRozan together? Can they? Yes. Will they? Probably not. I mean, technically, yes. It depends on, what DeRozan. If DeRozan takes the mid-level exception, then you could just go trade for Zach LaVine, sure. But the main thing, and I talked about this earlier, is there were reports that LaVine and DeRozan didn't like each other and they didn't get along, right? Like, if that's true, then they're not going to want to play together in LA. The roster will more than likely be the same roster as last season. I disagree. I think we're going to make several changes. Again, I could be wrong, but I do. I think we're just waiting for that first domino to fall, and then we'll see more and more happening. Get Dwight. Dwight definitely ain't coming. Dwight Howard just bought a team in Taiwan, and just hired a bunch of old Laker players to play, and he's playing in that league. So chances of getting Brook Lopez, I mean, I'd probably say 30, 70 if I had to put a percentage on it. I'm not big on trading for Brook Lopez because he's making $23 million. If Brook Lopez was making $15 million, sure. But he's making $23 million. It's a lot. Yeah, it's expiring, so you clear some cap space. But to me, it's I think the Lakers have other pressing needs that they're trying to address right now before they go with trading for Brook Lopez. Tyus Jones would be a good D'Lo replacement. I like Tyus Jones. Do you really think that LeBron and AD will stay healthy through an entire season? I mean, they've done it the last year and a half, so. Let's see. I mean, I'm really not high on DeRozan. The man is 34 freaking years old. Yeah, but he's still one of the most efficient guys in the league. I'm very high on DeMar. I actually think DeMar is going to be very good for the Lakers. Very good. Again, could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident that they make it work. Could there be a little learning curve? Sure, but I think ultimately he'll be fine. Remember, teams always want more from the Lakers front office, historically have it out for the Lakers. Exactly. I would have gotten Melton and then Trae D'Lo for small forward, Reeves, Melton, backcourt. That wouldn't have been bad. I wouldn't have hated something like that. What happened? DeMar got away or something? No, they're trying to work out, based on reports, trying to work out a 3-team trade right now, which takes time. So tomorrow, the next day, we'll probably get our answer. Markelle Fultz on an MLE. I'm not I like Markelle Fultz when he's healthy and plays, but I just think we have bigger needs at the MLE. Rob Lowe's not a good GM. Dorian Finney-Smith is a top wing defender. Yeah, he's your prototypical 3-and-D. Even if they trade for DeRozan, who would they get for the MLE? I don't know. I mean, that's the question. I mean, there's still several targets out. There's still several options. Do I have my list? Let me see if I can pull up mine. I don't know if I have it on this phone. In a second. Let me see. I do not. It's on my thing over there. I was trying to think of it because I have a list of all the best free agents still available. But in a perfect world, like I said, you go get a Miles Bridges or something. Or maybe if they need a point guard, maybe they do go get, Tyus Jones. Maybe Tyus Jones is the guy that they get with the MLE and go trade for a center, right? Maybe they end up working it out to where maybe they get Dorian Finney-Smith and DeMar DeRozan in this 3-team trade. Go sign Tyus Jones because you need a point guard, and then go get, a center, via trade or something like that. Now you're back in business. It's always a possibility. Sign LaVine. You can't sign LaVine. I mean, we could trade for LaVine, but point of attack, Smart, Bruce Brown, Lonzo, AR, Bron Grant, AD, bench, backup, PG, Dalton, DeMar, Prince, Vandal, Rob Williams, Wood. That's a contender and one of the best teams in the West, in my opinion. Let's see. Can your dog do tricks? Basic stuff right now, because like I said, she's a puppy. She's only 4 months old. So, but she can sit, lay, shake, jump up, like, she'd do probably like 10 things. Let's see. Trae, D'Lo for Cam Johnson, and Dorian Finney-Smith is the only trade that can make. Other than that, we're not getting known. I think we're getting DeMar DeRozan. I really do. I think we're getting DeMar DeRozan. What kind of dog is it? It is a German Shepherd Border Collie mix. German Shepherd Border Collie mix. But it looks like a German Shepherd. It's huge, man. Like, I sent it out with my girl. Here, let me see if I can. Hang on. I'll bring her in here. Give me a second. Hang on 1 second. Oh, look, oh, your hair is shitty. She's like massive. Oh, come here, baby. You're okay. Hi, baby. There you go. But yeah, this is her. Her name is Socks because it looks like she's wearing socks. My kids named her Socks. So you're shedding all over. There we go. Say hi. Say hello to the internet world. Say hello to the internet world. Come on, baby. Good girl. Here, you want to sit? Live stream. I know you're massive. Don't fall. There you go. Good baby. Good baby. All right. She's all hairy. I gotta touch my laptop. Here, you want to go lay down? Go lay down. Say bye to the world. Say bye to the world, okay? Okay, big baby. I know you, big girl, huh? Big girl. Thank you. Go lay down, baby. There you go. Thank you. She's huge and oh, hello. Hi. You can lay down here. Lay down here. Here, lay down right here. There you go. Just watch this. Don't knock this over, please. That'll be a disaster. Okay, thank you. Dog pound hitting you with the bow. Yeah, no, my brother gave me this dog. So my brother, like, long story short, my brother called me. He lives in California, and he was like, because my dog I had since I was like 18. I actually have two. Another one, he's probably not much longer. I have to like check him like 3 times a day because he's just old. I got him when I was like, he's my first dog I ever got. I got him when I was like 17, 18, and I'm 33 now, so he's like 15. And yeah, like so he's probably going soon. But I had another dog that was a pit boxer. She was like the sweetest. I mean, this dog's really good. The Shepherd Border Collie, the one that I just showed you guys on camera, she is a great dog. She is so like kind and sweet, and especially with like the kids and stuff. She's just massive and just doesn't realize that she's like the size of a house. And so like she's just like, a babe, like she thinks she's tiny. But yeah, I ended up losing one of my dogs, and then my brother was like, "Hey, do you want a new dog?" I got 2 dogs that somebody was just like basically trying to get rid of, and I was like, "Sure, send me a picture." And I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll take her." And yeah, she's been great. She's a really good dog, really sweet. But anyway, let's get back to the conversations. So what does Lakers Nation have? Lakers Nation have Studio Stew. Well, I got Studio Socks. Studio Socks, huh? Get a puppy. Puppy, good girl, huh? Good baby. Yeah. Got. All right, here. All right, here. Go lay down, baby. I'm almost done, and then I'll give you attention. I know you're looking for loving now because I was holding you. All right, where was I? I don't have hope for our front office. This is BS. They're sleeping. No moves gonna happen. I disagree. I think something will happen, but like I said, I don't know. We'll see. let's see. We need Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams, and to sign DeMar and get a point of attack guard. With that, we should be good. Yeah, I am with that. Let's see. Portland is a realistic trade partner. They are. It's just, will they trade with us? That's the question. Like, will they actually be willing to trade with us? I don't know if they will. I mean, they've never traded with us before. So, all right. No, this is about to die. You are like right in my space. Here, can you lay here? Can you lay right here for me? Here, look right here. Come. Here, scoot your tush right here. There you go. Right there. There you go. Lay right there. Sit. Good girl. There you go. Lay right there. Perfect. Stay there. No, no. Right there. Please stay there. Thank you. I know you think it's fair game. You don't understand that I'm on the internet with the world. Can you shake? Can we shake? I can't adjust this camera, huh? Oh. All right. Vando's huge for our defense. Agreed. I don't understand why BI isn't an option when he may be available. LeBron James, AD, BI is not bad at all. I don't hate the idea of Brandon Ingram. It's just, would the Pelicans want to trade him to us is the question. If we can't get LaVine or DeMar plus another piece, say goodbye. Yeah, we gotta get a couple things. I think even if we get DeMar, it's like, I don't think like, oh, we got DeMar and now we're the best team in the league. I think it is a huge step in the right direction, but I think we need more. I think we need like DeMar and then one or two other pieces. I think if the Lakers get like 2 or 3 legit guys, I think we'll be good. Let's see. The hate on D'Lo and DeMar is crazy. I would love to have DeMar. Or maybe they know something about D'Lo we don't. Are they just consistent team to find with the new coach? Yeah. I mean, yeah, keep in mind, organizations probably know a lot of things that we don't. All right, let's see. I'm going to answer a couple more questions here and then skate on out of here. Also, real quick, last time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What do we have subscriber-wise? We had a lot of people in the stream. I'm at 21,547 people. So, or subscribers. So, can I get to like, is there 53 of you? There's 53. There's 516 of you in this live stream. There's 53 of you for sure that aren't subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Can I get to 21,600? That'd be beautiful. In the next like 10 minutes would be great. And then I'm going to power through as many questions as I can. Obviously, super chats take priority. Don't feel like you have to give a super chat. But if you have a pressing need, otherwise, I'm just going to go in order and get through as many as I can in the next like 10 minutes. So let's go. Reeves is good for his contract. I agree. Look, I'm all for trading Reeves. To me, it just depends on what you're trading him for. I don't want to trade Reeves just to trade Reeves. But like my whole argument was like with DeJounte Murray. If you can trade Reeves and get DeJounte Murray, you do it because Reeves is great, yes, but DeJounte Murray is the better player. If you can get the better player, you get the better player. That was my thought process. You can get the better player, you get the better player. Who usually wins the trades? The team that gets the better player. D'Lo is garbage. I don't think D'Lo is garbage. Definitely has his playoff concerns, that's for sure, but the team was 580 touches away from making Denver panic, to be honest. Maybe they wait until the trade deadline to see what D'Lo is doing. I mean, it's always possible. I really think we land DeMar DeRozan. Again, I could be completely wrong and maybe completely off base with that, but I really do. What's going on? Appreciate you being here. Wrapping this up here shortly. Oh, my laptop's about to die. What am I at? Okay, good. I got enough time. Trae Young will give you 26 and 11. Yeah, I mean, he's averaged 25 and 10 in the last 3 seasons. Juan, coming out, $2 super chat. I don't see a question attached to it. If you're just supporting me, thank you. I appreciate it. But if you have something specific you want to say, then please let me know. I'll keep an eye on the chat and try to answer it. Otherwise, if you're just throwing support, I greatly appreciate that. Seriously. And it's your first ever super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously, I do appreciate that. Appreciate that a ton. Hey, you're banging the thing and you're nibbling on me. We're not playing right now. We're not playing right now. Here, stay here. I'm almost done, I promise. I'm almost done. I know you want my attention. Hey, and you're banging my desk. Can you show? Here, come here. Get up here. Here, you can sit with me and we'll answer questions together. How does that sound? How does that sound? Oh, it's so big and heavy. There. All right, we'll answer questions together. Here, sit right so you don't fall. There you go. Okay. Perfect. All right, here we got another super chat, right? All right, here we're having a segment, super chats with socks. But Bradley coming out with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. My take is that if the Lakers can get a guy that can start healthy, Chip is ours. Random. What do you think of the awful coaching guy? I love him. Pause. What do you think of the awful coaching guy? Talk about the YouTuber. Is it the awful coach? Isn't that like a YouTuber? I've had somebody mention him before. I've never seen his videos, but I've had people mention him before. The awful coach. I think that's his name, right? I could be wrong, but I think I've seen that before, like the awful coach. If that's what you're talking about, I have to check him out. I every time somebody mentions him, I'm always like, oh, I'll check him out, and then like I completely forget. If I'm being honest, so I gotta like check him out at some point. But yeah, I think we need I don't think we need like a whole roster rehaul. I think if we could get like a solid piece or two, we're good, right? Like if we could get DeMar DeRozan, if we get like DeMar DeRozan, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then like go trade for like a Clint Capella or something, I think we're right there. Like I do. I think we're right there as far as like competing with the rest of the league. It's kind of my thoughts ideally. So, but yeah, I'm right there with you. All right, let me do another row and then I'm going to skate on out of here. Like I said, if I get more super chats, I'll answer those. But otherwise, I'm just going to power through this section here. Let me get this up. Here we go. DeRozan or Grant? It depends if Grant is willing to buy in. If Grant is willing to buy in, then Grant, just because, one, he's younger, two, he's a legit two-way guy. And so I'd probably choose Grant over DeRozan. My concern is, will he actually buy in? I like DeMar, I'm not worried about in that regard. ESPN showing Klay like he's retiring. LaVine is too expensive. Yeah, but he make a huge impact is the thing. What are you, thirsty? Or are you just hot because you're laying on me and it's hot? The AC's on now. I don't think the AC was on earlier. Sounds like they don't want to do business with us. A lot of teams don't want to do business with. Yeah, Daron Sharp is definitely somebody I could get behind the Lakers getting. I would love to get him if we can. Let's see. Best move so far was getting rid of Ham. That's true. I actually think JJ Redick's going to do a good job, personally. I think JJ Redick's going to is going to do a good job as far as coaching. How much do you think it's on Klay choosing Dallas, or Golden State just didn't want to make the sign and trade as we don't want salary? I feel like Lakers could find a third team to get D'Lo, but maybe. I think it's probably a combination. I think Klay definitely wanted to go to Dallas. Again, he took $30 million less and an entire year less to go to Dallas, right? So obviously he wanted to go there. Two, I do think part of it was, I think it's a little bit of both. I think also Klay, I also think the Warriors probably didn't want to do business and didn't want the salary, like you said. So I definitely think it's a combination. Trade Gabe and Prince for Cam Thomas. I wouldn't be against that at all. I like Cam Thomas. We can't play AD the whole time at the 5. We got to play him at the 4 sometimes. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the hope, is that they actually balance it out. You want to She likes to nibble. You know, like the puppy, like when they come, like I'll be like chilling and like, you know, like laying down, and she'll come over and just like try to rip my arm off. And I'm just like, why? So soft. We're wrapping it up. I promise. We're almost done. You want to get down? Do you want to get down or you want to stay here? When you're down? Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Oh, yes. Okay. I know. Okay. We're almost done. Almost done. Let's see. Thunder on 2K are going to be the Thunder are going to be tough this year. Yeah, and on 2K for sure. Hartenstein has the most team-friendly $30 million deal ever. It's front-loaded, and last year not even guaranteed. And I think it's a team option. Yeah, they did a really good job pricing that because they basically back-ended it so that way they can, you know, like when everyone has to be paid, it lines up perfectly. Let's see. We need a center along with DeMar DeRozan. I'm right there with you. All right. Grant is the perfect one. He fits, and Portland's looking to move off of him. Yeah, but the question is, will they move off of him to the Lakers? Is the question. That's the $1 million. That's the $1 million question here. It is a poor man's Brook Lopez. I like him. I wouldn't hate him if the Lakers managed to get him. Here, we get down for a second. I'm gonna wrap up. Okay, here, I got you. Hey, relax. Watch it. Be careful. Careful. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Lay right there. Perfect. Let me give me like 5 minutes and then we'll play. I promise. All right. Look, Malik Beasley. Nah, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. That dude was awful. I could have outshot Malik Beasley while he was here with us. Like, it was not good. Buddy Hield or Gary Trent. Can Lakers get them? I mean, can they? Yes. Will they? I don't know. Buddy Hield, I think, is a real possibility. Gary Trent, I think somebody I think will pay him. I think Trae is good, to be honest. I like Trae. I'm not against getting Trae. Like if the Lakers landed Trae, I would be pumped. Let's see. Perfect starting five for the Lakers. Like if we get a realistic starting five, I wouldn't mind something like DeMar Christie. Like DeMar Christie, Miles Bridges, LeBron, and AD. I think would be a nice balanced starting five. I think you have the reason I would want Christie over like Reeves is just defensive purposes. And it gives you some 3-and-D shooting, and then you have Reeves off the bench, and his bench numbers are actually better than his starting numbers. So I think that would be nice. Personally, I like just trying to think of like what's realistic that's out there that could be obtainable. Who else is left for us, dude? A lot. There's a lot still out there. There's a lot of players that we could sign with the minimum or the mid-level, the million trades. I mean, all the trades that have been talked about and rumored are still all there other than like DeJounte Murray. Again, it's just kind of waiting for that first domino to fall. Trade for Grant Williams and Nick Richards. I would love Nick Richards. Grant Williams, I cannot stand. Stay away from Grant Williams. He thinks he's better than he is. And like he's just, I don't want him. I don't think he's very good at all. And any thoughts on Markkanen or Kessler? I would love to have either, especially both. Kessler's probably Markkanen, I think, is unrealistic. Kessler, I think, is possible. It just depends on like what's the cost. So let's see. All right, let me do like 3 more. Gary Trent Jr. I would love to have Gary Trent Jr. He'd be nice. Let's see. Dennis for D'Lo. Nah, hard pass. Let's see. We can sign Lonzo if he buys out. I don't think we can sign Lonzo. Yeah, because I think we're under, because LeBron's supposed to sign the thing to keep us under the first apron. So if I'm not mistaken, we can get buyout candidates now. Hey, watch your nose. I know. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Klay wouldn't have helped us like we thought. His legs in a shot. Those two are catastrophic injuries, have catastrophic aftershocks on him and his legs. I mean, he played what? He played like 77 games last year, didn't he? Do you think Klay doesn't want to play with LeBron? I don't think that's it at all. Ow, that hurts. You're biting me. You're biting me. No, yeah, I don't think hey, can you stop nibbling? Help me out. I don't think it's that he doesn't want to play with LeBron. I just think that I just think he wanted to go to Dallas, right? And I think the Warriors preferred to send him to Dallas than the Lakers. I think it's a combination of things. Let's see. Warriors need a clean house. Agreed. I hope y'all get Grant. Like I said, I wouldn't mind getting Grant at all. I'd be all for that if they can pull it off. Let's see. Under JJ coaching, can D'Lo have a better filling role for the team? 100%. Because also D'Lo probably gets to play on ball more, which I think is important, right? It's not a coincidence that most of his best games were when LeBron was out, right? And he actually got to play the point guard. It's going to be Cam Johnson and DeMar as the two big pieces. I think that's very realistic. That's what the Lakers are trying to work out right now. So I wouldn't shock me. Why are you biting me? She's literally like, you're not a Garrett. Look, she's like, can I like put this down? Like, she's literally like ripping my arm off. She's like trying to murder. Now that the camera's on you, now that there's witnesses, now that witnesses could see you, now you want to lick. Can you stop? I need my hands, but anyway, let's see. Please go get Miles Bridges right there. I would love. Hey, you're gonna pull this whole thing down. Please, come on. Go get Miles Bridges. He's right there. I would love Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges would be awesome. Bridges and DeMar is my like ideal scenario. Hey, what are you chewing? What is that? What are you chewing on? Hey, don't be just chewing stuff. What is that? Let's see. Would you guys rather have Grant or DeRozan? Oh, I talked about this earlier. If Grant buys in, I'd rather have Grant. Let's see. All right. Here, we'll end it here. Tyus Jones, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, Cam Johnson, Anthony Davis, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Torrey, and Prince. I am all for that. Like something like that would be awesome. Yeah, get some depth, get some talent. Like I said, I don't think we're far. I think give me 2, maybe 3 quality like upgraded pieces, and I think we're right there in the thick of it. But anyway, I'm gonna skate on out of here because this puppy's driving me crazy. See, look what you guys started. See, I brought her on the stream, and now she's trying to impress you guys. She's trying to like get attention and trying to rip my arm off. But I'm gonna go play with her. Probably go take her for a walk and stuff. Run around outside with her. But anyway, I'm gonna skate on out of here. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button on the way out, please. Hit that subscribe button on the way out, please. What are we at? Do we get the 54 subs? What are we at? I need 40 more. So we got what? 25 of you? I need 40 more. And there's 440 of you. Can I get 40 more subscribers? Do it for Socks. Do it for the puppy. Socks, come here. We need you to get me 40 more subs. Where'd you go? There you go. Do it for this baby. Come here. Right here. Here, let's get them. Let's get them feeling sorry. Let's get them feeling sorry for you. Look at this face. Look at that face. How, if you don't want to subscribe, play the what's the Arms of an Angel song? For one like and